Welcome to the NBA Pub Hub, Pub Sports Radio, Wednesday, April 12th. Ian Cameron, Dutch Boy Fresh, and Billy Briz ready to break down the Wednesday NBA play-in tournament action. Two more games in the play-in tonight. It's 9 versus 10 in both conferences taking place tonight. And the way it works is that the winner of both games tonight ends up playing the loser of the two games last night. So it'll be Chicago or Toronto, whoever wins tonight, at Miami on Friday night for the 8th seed in the East. And it'll be either Oklahoma City or New Orleans at Minnesota on Friday night for the 8th seed in the West. So that's where we're at right now with the remaining play-in games. And, of course, the Atlanta Hawks and the LA Lakers, congratulations to them. They punched their playoff ticket. They'll be the 7th seed. We've got Atlanta and Boston now in the first round, and we've got Memphis and the LA Lakers now in the first round, 2 versus 7 in both conferences. So that was last night. I agree with Charles Barkley saying what he said. It was awful basketball. I don't care that people think that a close game and an overtime game is an epic classic all the time. That couldn't be further from the truth about Timberwolves Lakers. Both teams played a terrible execution. Minnesota collapsed down the stretch. I don't think you could play worse end crunch time basketball than the Timberwolves did last night. That was just not well played basketball. I don't care that it went to overtime. Maybe there's a little exciting finish. It was poorly played. And the Lakers are damn fortunate to escape because they came out awful in that game, and Minnesota just shit it and pissed it away down the stretch. So hopefully the quality of play is a little bit better here tonight with these two games. So let's get into it. We'll start with the Eastern Conference play-in, 9 versus 10, Chicago Bulls, Toronto Raptors. This game here in Toronto, 6-point favorites, the Raptors, 213 being the total here in this game. I'll be honest with you right now. I'm taking the Bulls now. Sorry to disappoint the locals here and a bunch of friends of mine that are big Raptors fans, but who's laying 6 now with Toronto? I mean, I'm certainly not looking to do that here in this game. And the Bulls, look, they're frustrating, the Bulls. They're erratic. You don't know what you're usually going to get from one game to the next. But you look at series history and the season series between these two teams. Chicago was competitive. Toronto won 2 of them. But, they were 6-point win, 9-point win. Chicago also won one of those games. And I just don't know if I saw quality from the Toronto Raptors enough to trust them here laying 6. Do they win the game tonight? Maybe. Probably they do. But do we trust them to win by margin? I don't. I love DeMar DeRozan over points tonight. I think it's just the obvious bet, in my opinion, just because we know that if Chicago is going to, win this game and have a chance, DeMar DeRozan, Double D, is going to have a huge night. He's playing against his old team in his old stomping grounds, Toronto. I think he's already talking about, in the quotes that I read this morning in the interview he had, how excited he is. He says, this is going to be a playoff game. I'm excited about it. So I think he's going to translate that excitement into a great offensive performance tonight for the Chicago Bulls. So that's really the bet I like most in this game. Like I said, I do like Chicago a little bit plus the points. And it is worth noting, guys, 2-0 against the spread for the underdogs last night in the first night of the play-in tournament. Atlanta won outright as an underdog, a wire-to-wire point spread cover for Minnesota, getting 8.5 against the Lakers. So the Dogs went 2-0 against the spread last night. So I'm not saying, definitely do not lay points tonight, but it's something you want to keep an eye on. And this time of year, I'm always more interested in, taking the underdog as opposed to the favorite. And I think there's enough reasons to take Chicago here, plus, especially with the line going up the way it has. And I like DeMar DeRozan over points. I think that's just a terrific prop here in this game tonight. Dutch, we'll start with you on this one. Bulls, Raptors.
Yeah, man. Real quick, salute to the ladies, gents, and D-gents for tuning in. You already know it's all love. I appreciate the real ones holding us down. We're back for, the playoff edition. Tasha, I see you, young lady. Nets bets in the motherfucking building. Mean Green Sports picks like in the Bulls. First half, +3. Good to see our dude in here. Some great follows, some heavy hitters. Mr. Nasty Nate in the building. Mr. Trifecta, I see you, my dude. I like the Bulls here, man. I think it's kind of trendy, though. I'm not as excited, and I'm not really crazy about it. I mean, I get a better number, so I haven't even bet this motherfucker yet, but so I should be happy because I'm seeing 6.5 right now at BetMGM. So you're getting a better number on Chicago, and I liked it at 5.5 yesterday as I broke it down a little bit with Dick Schnizzle over there, who banging. They, Mike and Dave, picks from Dave and them boys. I liked it, man. Then woke up and I see, man, I'm going to get a better number on Chicago. Don't rush. Good thing I didn't press the button last night. It kind of seems kind of trendy. You look at it, it's not too much, a little under 60% of the bets I see here on Chicago. So it's not crazy. But it does, I have a feeling, this might be a razor sharp special. But yeah, man, I like Chicago. And when I look into it a little bit, I think they're small. The big thing in this matchup, it comes down to simple rebounding. Is Chicago going to be able to rebound with Toronto? In the 2 out of 3 meetings this year, Chicago was out rebounded by 18 and 12, and their 2 losses were plus 12 or was plus 6 in their 1 win. So as I see it, I look at it as, this dude, Patrick Willis, these boys got to block out. They start small with Caruso and Beverly, Levine, and Rosen. So you got DeRozan guarding Siakam, which is not ideal, not ideal whatsoever. And then you're going to bring Williams in a little bit to relieve that. But I'm worried about Chicago on the boards. I am. Now, I do think Patrick Beverly, Caruso are good matchups for Van Fleet. He went 1 of 11 last time out with Beverly. He had 30 on these boys earlier in the season. But Patrick Beverly on the court, this motherfucker went 1 for 11 with 6 points. They did still win the game, however, though, by 6 in Toronto. So I do think the number is pretty sharp, to be quite honest with you. They've won the home teams won the last 6 meetings, 8 out of the last 10. And Chicago has been somewhat bet on against the number of late. They're 6-2-1 last 9 on the road against the number on the road. 12-15 ATS last 7 in Canada and 7-3 ATS overall last 10. But the Raptors, you look at it from them, man, they've been playing tough too. I could see a side why people could go to the window with Toronto, even though this does seem like quite of a large number for me. 15-5 and 1 ATS last 20 or 21 at the crib, and 9-4 overall last 13 against the numbers. So, to be quite honest with you, it almost looks too easy with Chicago. I'm wondering how we keep getting more points here. So I'm a little timid last night, especially after getting my ass with Miami. Shout out to our boy Billy Briz, and I believe Bobano was on it as well. Wham bam with the money lines, Atlanta and shit. It was easy, motherfucking money. But yeah, man, after breaking it down a little bit, I like Chicago first quarter here as well. I think Chicago +2 is good money. In the 3 games they've played, they're +11, covered all 3 of the first quarters against the Toronto Raptors. Give me the Chicago Bulls +2. It's good money.
All right. Bulls +2 for our guy Dutch first here quarter. Early in this game in the first quarter against the Raptors. These games tonight, make sure you get the right channel. ESPN tonight for the 2 games. It was TNT last night. It's ESPN tonight for these 2 play-in games. Yeah, to me, DeMar DeRozan's just the obvious at over 21.5 points at -130 at Bet365. I think most books have 21.5, 22.5 with his point prop. I like that one quite a bit. The way I see it, too, in terms of, because you got to have kind of a game flow in mind for a lot of these games now that we're into the play-in and the playoffs. I don't know if Fred VanVleet's going to score a lot because of Pat Bev being on him. So I think if you're like VanVleet, go assists tonight on Fred VanVleet. I think he's probably going to have to facilitate a little bit more in this game tonight. And his assist prop, I believe, 7.5, I believe is what we're looking at here. Yeah, at 7.5 -135 at Bet365. You got to lay a little juice, but I think over 7.5 assists for Freddie V is good. And I think Siakam is going to be the dominant, scorer, I would think, for the Raptors tonight. So if I were to look at a Raptors over points, Siakam at over 22.5, 23.5 points, probably looking that route. But I like DeRozan's prop the most. I mean, I think he's going to have a huge game in Toronto, his old team. He usually plays well in the postseason. I remember some of these Chicago-Milwaukee series the last couple of years in the playoffs, and he's had some big – he's the reason why Chicago was competitive in some of those games. So the DeMar DeRozan prop is my favorite look. What do you think here, Billy Briz, Chicago-Toronto?
Yeah, man, I feel like a lot of the public yesterday, they definitely took some losses yesterday. So everybody's looking at this slate today, and everybody's betting the underdogs. I mean, 60% of the money's coming in on the Bulls, and the line's going the other way. What sense does that make? How is 60% of the money coming in on the Bulls, but the line's still going up -6.5 towards Toronto? And it's kind of similar in the Oklahoma City game. We'll talk about that one a little bit later. But the Raptors are a stout home team, 25-15-1 ATS at home. They're 7-1 ATS last 9 home games versus a team with a losing road record. The Bulls are just 18-20-2 ATS this year on the road. Head-to-head wise between these 2 teams, the whole team is 3-0. Both outright and ATS. I'm leaning towards the under here a little bit 4-0 in their last 4 head-to-head meetings have gone under. And then I really can't fade the Raptors here in this spot, man. They're 11-1 straight up in their last 12 home games at home. So I'll probably lean with the Raptors here. I think their length is the biggest advantage that they have over the Bulls. Everybody's geeking out over the Patrick Beverley podcast about how he was talking about how they're locked in and shit like that. But to be honest with you, I have a very different opinion about this game than you, Babano. I kind of like the under on DeMar DeRozan points, rebounds, and assists. We saw last night everybody and their moms went to the window to play D'Angelo Russell in a revenge game. That motherfucker ain't show up. And DeMar DeRozan hasn't shown up this year against Toronto. In 3 games versus Toronto this year in 35 minutes, he's only averaging 21 points, rebounds, and assists. That's super under from that 32.5 points, rebound, and assist line tonight. Maybe he plays a little bit better because it's the playoffs, but as of right now, I like the under on that. Player prop wise, overs I like. My favorite player prop in this game is Gary Trent over 12.5 points, minus 115. I feel like the Bulls are kind of overreacting towards Gary Trent's injury. He played 27 minutes in the last game of the season, scoring 23 points. He's got the hot hand, so I'm going to ride the hot hand in this one. He's gone over his point prop over 25 out of his last 32 home games, and he's gone over 5 out of his last 6 games versus Chicago. And also Pascal Siakam over 28.5 points and assists, minus 106. In a win-or-go-home game, you know Nick Nurse is going to play these starters at least 40 minutes in this game. He's gone over 9 out of his last 10 games when he's played 35 minutes, averaging 33.9 points and assists. He's gone over 21 out of his last 26 home games with 35-plus minutes, hitting this prop at an 81% rate, and it's at minus 105. Like that one. And then Nikolai Vucevic over 27.5 points and rebounds, minus 125. He's gone over his points and rebound prop 6 out of his last 7 games versus the Raptors, averaging 31.9 points and rebounds. He's gone over his prop 22 out of his last 30 games when playing 30-plus minutes, and he's absolutely destroyed Jakob Puddle in past years, going over his points and rebounds in 4 out of his last 5 matchups versus Jakob Puddle, averaging 33.2 points and rebounds here. So I think at the end of the day, though, I'm not going to get cute with this one. Gary Trent's going to get us to a bag tonight. And if you're looking for a spread, I'll probably lean with the Raptors, but I'm not as convicted at all the 4 playing games. This is the one I feel the least confident in. And it's just weird, man. You're telling me 60% of the money's coming in on the Bulls, but the line's going up the other way. That's telling you that the Sharps are slamming the Raptors. And I would probably bet with the Sharps. The Sharps are making money in this NBA play-in tournament, not the public.
Yeah. You know what my thinking is, and I say this with Jimmy all the time. I don't give 2 shits where the line's going. If I like a play, I like a play. But you're right. I mean, it is kind of peculiar, but it wouldn't scare me off, and it hasn't scared me off Chicago here, getting these kind of points. And a very interesting take on DeRozan.
If sports betting was that easy, everybody be rich. We would never be on one of these shows right now. We'd be all.
I find it's hit or miss with that stuff, like fade the public and all that, and the reverse line movement. I find that wins sometimes, but doesn't win all the time. So you got to pick your spots with that level of analysis when it comes to the games. But very interesting. You think DeMar struggles tonight. I think he has a good one, but I do agree with OG on him. It's true. OG Anunoby can be a really good defender. Can he lock up DeMar DeRozan tonight? That remains to be seen. Gary Trent, you're right. You're getting a bargain in Gary Trent's prop because of his struggles and the injuries he's had down the stretch. We'll see if he's able to come through here tonight with the points needed, and he only needs 13 to cash that prop. All right, second play-in game in the Western Conference 9-10 matchup down in the Big Easy, Oklahoma City and New Orleans. We've got New Orleans 5.5-point favorites, 227 the total in this game. I am absolutely on the Thunder here, plus 5.5. They've been my meal ticket, the number 1 point spread team in the NBA all season long, and especially been good on the road, and especially been good as underdogs throughout the course of the season. And quite frankly, I don't like the drama we're seeing with the New Orleans Pelicans here, to be quite honest with you. The Zion stuff, with him just not progressing, not getting back on the floor. The New Orleans Pelicans as a team, I think, they actually played a little bit better down the stretch, maybe with wins against New York, Memphis, Clippers, Denver as well. But don't sell the Oklahoma City Thunder short. They've been a very competitive squad. They've given New Orleans fits repeatedly this season. You look at the 4 meetings. We saw a 4-point win for the Pelicans, a 3-point overtime win for the Pelicans, a 3-point win for the Pelicans, and Oklahoma City beat them in March. So there has been no evidence the Pelicans have had it easy this year against the Oklahoma City Thunder. And I think the Thunder are going to give them a game here because they've got a guy that can just dominate and a guy that can take over a basketball game. And my Hamilton boy from my backyard, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, is having a masterful season for the Pelicans. Now, granted, if you look at the New Orleans side of it, they've got obviously guys that are veterans and experienced in JV and Brandon Ingram and CJ McCollum for sure. But I wouldn't sell this a very young and very solid Thunder team short here. Obviously defense has kind of been their shortcoming at times, but even on that end of the basketball court, we've seen some improvement down the stretch from the Thunder. The Thunder have covered 6 straight games in New Orleans when taking on this Pelicans team. They've covered 10 of 14 overall in this head-to-head series against the Pelicans. So, yeah, Pelicans may win this game, but I sense it's like the Lakers and the Timberwolves last night, where even if the Pelicans win, I think the Thunder could cover here in this one. So I like OKC here. Plus the 5.5. As far as some prop looks in this matchup, the one thing that would concern me a little bit about Oklahoma City is that on the defensive end of the basketball court, they're middle of the pack against 3 balls. CJ McCollum over points and over 3-pointers, might be a good look here tonight for the Pelicans. That's definitely 2 props. I mean, Ingram, I'm not going to talk anyone out of Brandon Ingram on the New Orleans Pelicans side. If you've been betting his point prop over lately, down the stretch, you've definitely been cashing in quite a bit. On the Shai Gilgeous-Alexander side, you obviously expect if they're going to have a chance to win tonight, he's going to have a big game. You're not exactly getting a bargain here at 32.5, but I think that might be still something worth a look. The one that I really like, though, for Oklahoma City tonight is Jalen Williams. This is someone that really turned it on down the stretch, and I think if you're looking for value, Shai could get over his 32.5, but it's not the greatest value at that number. I think getting Jalen Williams over 15.5 points at even money, minus 110, I like that prop more because Jalen Williams, to me, has done very well for the Thunder here and made an impact down the stretch. That's the prop that I favor more than anything here for the Thunder on their side of it. Dutch, what do you think here? Pretty interesting game, Western play-in here. New Orleans hosting OKC. Oh, you're muted.
I'm mute this motherfucker real quick. Yeah, man. Shout out to Ray Charles, liking Josh Giddey with the assist and the points or assistant rebounds. Came through too with the Capella over 10.5 rebounds yesterday in the chat. The motherfucker had 20 plus. So shout out to our guy. I see you, my man. Yeah, Big Luch, I see you as well. This game, man, I think you can make a case for both sides. So to follow up what you said, Bobano, you like OKC. You're a Thunder buddy. We know that. They lose by an average of 2 points. They lose by an average as a dog on the road by 3 points per game, and as a dog by 2 points per game. So this number's right in that one. You got to look there. They covered the 3rd most in the league as an NBA team as well. But of late, they've struggled, man. They really have. They're 1-5 ATS last 6 on the road, 2-8 ATS last 10 against the number, last 10 overall. So I don't know, man. I think the Pelicans are a little too big for them. They have won 3 out of the 4 meetings this year. You did mention they have been close games. I believe they're a little more healthier now. I mean, Zion in and out. Zion is a damn fool, man. I don't know what the fuck's going on with him. I never liked that motherfucker since he was a Dookie, and I obviously wasn't wrong. Wasn't wrong about that piece of motherfucking shit, Dookie. But yeah, the Pelicans are 4-1-1 ATS last 6 at the crib. Covered 8-3-1 ATS last 12 overall. They've been a bet-on team of late. I do believe B.I. will be the best player on the court. I know Shai's a stud, and maybe he might get B.I. a run, but I think B.I. might be the most dominant player on the court. I should say that today. CJ should do his thing, and I think Big Val is going to be trouble for these boys down low. I think the Thunder will have trouble with bigs. Am I going to bet the Pelicanos? I'm not. I think the number is pretty small the way that we've seen the Thunder kind of come back to reality a little bit of late, just to be quite honest with you. They haven't been good against the number, haven't been good against the road. And the Pelicanos have been bet on at the crib, so I don't think 5.5 really should be too much, but I'm not going to bet it.
All right, there you go. So lean a little bit to the Pelicans, not to pull the trigger on it. What do you think here, Billy Briz, Thunder Pelicans?
Dutch hit the nail on the coffin, man. I know the Thunder buddies have been good money to us, but let's not forget about a week ago when we're sitting on this show, we're laughing about the 10 seed in the West. It felt like everybody was fucking tanking and nobody won the 10 seed. And then the Thunder just sneakily make it to the 10 seed. Is it because the Mavericks are getting fined a shitload of money for tanking and not being the 10 seed? Like, the 10 seed in the West is by far the weakest team out of any of these play-in teams. And that's the Oklahoma City Thunder, man. They're 1-5 ATS last 6 road games, like Dutch said, and 2-8 ATS last 10 games overall. I don't know what Thunder team y'all been backing, but they ain't making y'all niggas money in the last month, man, because them motherfuckers been bummy. They're the weakest team out of any of these playing teams. The Pelicans are 4-1-1 ATS last 6 home games, 8-3-1 ATS last 12 games overall. I mean, they dominate them in the regular season series 3-1. Thunder are – you're telling me we're walking in on a fucking Wednesday afternoon night and the Thunder are the most bet on team today on the slate? This is a razor sharp special. Fade the public. Back to Pelicans here. Call JP Wentworth. Go get the loans out because the Pelicans are about to smack up on the Thunder tonight. Everybody in their mom
877 cash now.
Yeah, everybody thought the Timberwolves last night, they were punching each other in the game before. They got some problems and stuff like that. You think anybody's going up to the window ticket tonight thinking about the Zion Williams and stuff? Everybody's betting the Thunder today, man. The Pelicans are going to smack up on the Oklahoma City Thunder, and they're going to make this shit look easy tonight. I love the Pelicans tonight. They close out a 3-leg parlay for me of the Atlanta Hawks, Los Angeles Lakers, and the New Orleans Pelicans. Plus 400 ticket. So we riding with the Pels tonight. I'm rocking with a -5.5 too. Player prop wise, I love Jonas Valanciunas over 11.5 rebounds, -132. The Thunder are by far the worst rebounding team in the NBA. They allow the most rebounds per game out of any NBA team by a wide margin. Over the last 30 days, they've conceded the most rebounds to the center position since March 10th. Joe Val's been averaging 12.1 rebounds per game. If they're going to win this game, they're going to have to win this game down low in the paint, and that's exactly how I see them winning this game. It's too soon for the Thunder team, man. They're a year away. They need Chet Holmgren. They're happy to be here in this position, and the fans are happy that their team is here in this position, but this is the peak of their season right here. And the other prop that I like today is Lou Dort under 13.5 points. If you look at his home road splits, that boy don't be shooting the ball on the road. He's a little bit scared, only averaging 11 points per game on the road versus 15.7 at home. And he only averages 9.5 points per game and 33.9 minutes per game in 4 games versus New Orleans this year. Horrible matchup for my guy, Lou Dort. He'll be out there for the defense, but they ain't going to be swinging him the ball to the corner to go shoot that shit. This is a great game to make money on. This is the most convicted game that I have on these 2 games here. I love the Pelicans tonight. The Pelicans are, you're telling me the Thunder are the most bet on team today, man. That is a fade. 67% of the money on the Oklahoma City Thunder spread tonight. Pelicans blowout. Bet them 10 plus on FanDuel. Go get your money.
There you go. And Lakers were a heavily bet team last night. That is true. And Minnesota ended up with the wire to wire. Yeah, that commercial just cracks me up every time I see it. Call JG Wentworth 877 cash now. I really need a settlement and I need cash now. Yeah,
that's why I brought it up, man. Get the loans out for this one, man. Call who you need to call. Call your uncles, call your cousins, call your girlfriend. Tell them you need some money. You'll give them back to them on Friday because the Pelicanos is about to smoke the Thunder tonight, man. Thunder buddies. That was a couple months ago, man. It's the Pelicanos season right now, man. They were the hottest team in the NBA about a week ago. We just gonna throw that out the window? Nah, man, I'm not. I'm backing the Pelicans here tonight.
I might be calling them because my taxes are due, and they've made it changed it this year up here in Canada. Used to pay tax installments. I owe the whole damn thing at the end of the week.
Who are you telling, man? I got some bills to pay too. Why do you think I've been so hot?
I'm pulling out money from all my accounts right now, trying to get this thing, get all the money arranged for the end of the week so I can pay this off. I might be calling JG Wentworth here. I gotta pay my taxes and I need cash now. Yeah, I might be doing that pretty soon. Yeah. JG Wentworth, but it's not here in Canada. It's only a U.S. place. So, but anyway, something similar here in Canada. Might be giving them a call. But nevertheless, that's another story. Thanks to everyone for joining us. Hit the like button. 151 live viewers on YouTube. We appreciate it very much. Hit the like button. Shout out to everyone in the chat joining us. And a reminder, there's no show tomorrow, okay? Because there's no NBA tomorrow. So we'll be back on Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern time. It'll be the Friday cast and crew. So it'll be me, it'll be Billy Briz, and it'll be Ski Profit on Friday. And then we get going with our weekend Pub Hub shows Saturday, Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern time, 10 a.m. Pacific time this weekend. So looking forward to that. All right, we got best bets for the play-in games for this Wednesday night coming right up in just a moment, right after we hear from Manscaped and Southtown 101. All right, Southtown 101. When you're in San Antonio, Texas, stop in. Great food, drinks, live music, DJs, karaoke, Southtown 101, and manscaped.com. Get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com using promo code PUBSPORTS. All right, best bets and Dutch's freshest look here for the Wednesday play-in tournament games. Dutch, we'll start with you. What do you like for freshest look?
Yeah, man. Freshest look, man. We in grind mode. We're going to hit a quick lick, and we got to go north, man. We got to cross the motherfucking border. We're going in, and we're going out. You know, first quarter, Chicago Bulls plus motherfucking 2. It's good money, man.
There we go. Chicago Bulls +2. First quarter against Toronto. Freshest look for Dutch. Billy Briz, best bet.
Yeah, best bet, man. We got to go down to the NO, man. I saw Eric Lewis is the head ref today. Home favorites between 5 and 9.5 points. Are 13-9. I'm back in the Pelicanos. They're about to make it 14 after tonight. You're telling me 67% of the public is betting the Thunder. You always fade the public underdog, and that is the Thunder tonight. Let's go, Pelicanos. One more time. Got to run it up.
All right, there you go. The Pelicanos -5.5 against the Thunder for Billy Briz and his best bet. And my best bet, I'm sticking with DeMar DeRozan over 21.5 points for the Chicago Bulls -130. It's my favorite bet. Of sides, totals, props, you name it, everything of the 2 games tonight. I think he does have a big game. I know Anunoby is a defender to respect and is capable, but I think DeMar DeRozan somehow, some way, he has a big effort. He sounds like he's really pumped up to play this game in Toronto against his old team, a game where it's a winner, go home type of deal. For both teams. I think he shows up and has a hell of a game tonight. You get the good DeMar tonight. DeRozan over 21.5 points for my best bet here for this Wednesday play-in tournament card. All right, that'll wrap up this edition of the NBA Pub Hub. Thanks to everyone for joining us. Hit the like button on the way out. We'll be back on Friday with me, Billy, and Ski for the Friday play-in games. It'll be the losers of last night's games taking on the winners of the 2 games tonight. On Friday. So we'll break those down. And of course, Saturday, the playoffs get going. The first round of the playoffs get going. So we're looking forward to that. And the beginning of our weekend editions of the NBA Pub Hub at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. For Dutch Boy Fresh and for Billy Briz, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Wednesday night. Enjoy the games and good luck. And we will talk to you on Friday for another edition of the NBA Pub Hub right here on Pub Sports Radio. Dutch, take us home.
Yeah, man. Salute to them real ones holding us down in the chance. In the chat, Trance, I see you, Tasha, AOD, Chris Mack, Harold Williams in the building, G Martinez, Mo Harris. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share the motherfucking video. Y'all stay fresh, stay blessed, and let's stay putting these motherfucking bookies to rest. Yeah, man.